Hello, all you wonderful people out there. Today we are going to go on with our music theory study. Last week I introduced to you the major scale, and you learned how a major scale was constructed. And I also started some ear training with you, and you were supposed to be able to differentiate between a half step and whole step. And that's what this week's quiz was over. This week we're going to learn the names of each of the notes in a major scale, kind of what their function is, what they're called. And I don't mean a letter name or solfege, do, re, mi. That's not what I mean. It's something different than that. So let's open up musictheory.net lessons. And we are going to go down here to scale degrees. Each note of a scale has a special name called a scale degree. The first and last note is called the tonic. There, tonic, tonic. That is a C and a C, middle C and a C5. That is where the name of the key comes from. If the tonic is a C, you are in the key of C. If the tonic is an F, you are in the key of F. Or if you are in the key of F, F is the tonic, is what I should say. If you're in the key of G, G is the tonic. So the first and last notes are called the tonic. The fifth note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do, re, mi, fa, so, do, re, mi, fa, so, is the dominant. Okay. It's the strongest chord, strongest scale tone after the tonic. The subdominant is below the dominant, sub, below the dominant, and it's the next strongest chord after the dominant. So tonic is the strongest, then dominant, then subdominant. And this is just interesting to point out to you. And it's also the fifth. They call it a generic fifth. Perfect fifth is the term I learned it as. The dominant is 5 notes above the tonic. The subdominant is 5 notes below the tonic, so that they're closely related. The third note is called the mediant, since it is in the middle of the tonic and dominant. Tonic, dominant, median, halfway between them. Actually, not quite halfway. It goes to one side or the other. It's the third note of 5. So, likewise, the sixth note is the submediate, since it's in the middle of the tonic, the upper tonic, and the subdominant. And the second note is called the supertonic. Super is Latin for above, tonic, supertonic. With the scale degrees for the first 6 notes are the same for both major and minor scales, the seventh one is special. If the seventh note is a half step below the tonic, it's called a leading tone. I'll play some of these for you in a minute on the piano over here. Play the C major scale. Notice how the seventh note wants to lead into the tonic. Leading notes also occur in harmonic minor and melodic minor. We are not going to worry about what's going on with the minor scale yet. So right now, just concerned with the major scale. So if we start on C, right there, tonic, dominant, and play the G, tonic. Tonic, subdominant. Now listen to this. Okay, hear the relationship between those notes. There's a really strong relationship between them. I didn't mean to play the submedian. So let's play straight up it. Tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdominant, dominant, submediant, leading tone. Here, this wants you to go. It wants you to finish. Come on. Come on. If you stop there, it sounds unfinished. It leaves you hanging. Whoops. So last week you learned to identify. You learned to identify a half step and a whole step. This week, I want you to learn to identify a perfect octave, a perfect fifth, like a cavalry horn. Charge. Not cavalry horn, a hunting horn. Release the hounds. Okay, so that's a perfect fifth. So you have octave, perfect fifth, and a perfect fourth. Whoops. Here comes the bride. Dee, 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 dee. Dee, dee, dee. The wedding march from Wagner's Tristan and Isolde. Whoops. So I want you to be able to identify on the next listening quiz. I want you to be able to identify a half step, a whole step, an octave, perfect octave, a perfect fifth, and a perfect fourth. All right, that's it. Those are very different from each other. Some of the other ones start to sound more similar. So add that to your ear training. Get used to hearing. That's it. You practice. Go to, oops, I didn't mean to close that. Let's see what it offers us in the way of ear training practice. If it offers us anything at all. Why, yes, it does. You can go to the ear training and you go over here to intervals. We don't want all 13 of them. I said you need to be able to identify. Unison is easy. That's the same note. You need to be able to identify a minor second, which is a half step, a major second, which is a whole step, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, and an octave. So if you will go in and set your practice to those 5 things right there, and it's going to ascend every time. That's all we're worried about now. And we're going to limit the range to C4 to C5, limiting limiting it to one octave. Yeah, this means that everything you listen to will be within that octave. This means that the starting note will be in that octave. So let's say both notes are within it. Next question is immediately afterwards. We'll turn to the challenge mode on, and I'm going to give myself a 2-minute time limit to listen to 10, and you can allow yourself multiple attempts to answer a question if you want to. Let's see how Pulliam does. Perfect fifth. That's an octave. Oops, I missed that one. That was unison. Ba, 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 ba. That's major second. That's unison. Oh well, I got 80. I should do better. So it took me 45 seconds. Practice some of that. You will have a test where you hear those pitches. You hear pitches and you have to identify what the interval is. So that shows you how to set it up. Oh, let's see. Permanent link to a customized exercise. I may do that for you. All right. That's it. Wait a minute. Through the magic of bum, bum. Wait a minute.